A new generation of Indians is entering a marketplace where the barriers are coming down. For the first time, foreign brands will compete directly with domestic ones on level ground. This shift comes as the United States moves in a different direction. American trade deals are currently stalled, limited by ongoing tariff disputes and geopolitical conflicts that make new agreements difficult to finalize. India is responding by moving fast. New Delhi is actively negotiating and signing free trade agreements with partners across several continents, setting new terms for what each country gains from the exchange. While other major powers pull back, India is using these agreements to build a network of preferred access, attempting to secure its place in the global supply chain. A recent milestone in this strategy is a comprehensive trade deal with New Zealand. It's an agreement that officials on both sides expect to define their economic relationship for decades. The deal provides immediate advantages for Indian exports. Tariffs on goods like leather and footwear, which previously faced a 10% tax, will drop to zero. The agreement also includes a 5,000 visa quota and a $20 billion investment commitment. This map shows how the New Zealand deal fits into a larger pattern. India has already secured agreements with Australia and Japan and is working toward a major integration with the European Union by 2027. This network also extends through Southeast Asia, reinforcing trade ties with ASEAN members to strengthen India's regional economic position. However, free trade is a two-way street. As these barriers fall, the question remains whether Indian brands are prepared to handle a sudden surge of international competition in their own backyard. This visualization shows the primary economic challenge facing India. The country consistently buys a higher volume of goods from the world than it manages to export. This severe imbalance puts steady pressure on the economy and weakens the rupee over time. The relationship with Russia provides a clear example of how lopsided these trade flows can become. India currently imports roughly $60 billion in goods from Russia, mostly crude oil, while sending back only $3 to $4 billion in exports. This disparity illustrates why trade deals alone aren't a solution. Removing tariffs is risky if a country lacks enough competitive goods to sell in return. This map of the U.S. network shows even a dominant economy has a relatively small number of free trade agreements, focused mostly on immediate neighbors and key allies. China's map is also surprisingly limited compared to India's global reach, heavily concentrated within its own region. This raises a practical question. How does Beijing export more goods while maintaining a significantly smaller network of trade agreements? Market access only works with the industrial capacity to fill it. China's volume comes from a surplus of manufactured goods, produced at a scale that keeps their export lanes full, regardless of specific treaties. Without a strong manufacturing base to use them, trade agreements are just open roads that other nations use to reach your consumers. Solving the deficit involves more than government policy. It requires Indian companies to change how they prioritize long-term growth over immediate returns. To compete globally, businesses must move away from short-term profits and focus on building legacy brands, companies that can maintain a reputation for quality over generations. This is the standard set by the Made in Japan label. It represents a level of precision and reliability that allows Japanese products to command a premium in any market they enter. Success also depends on a domestic population that values its own industry, similar to the way German consumers support their own automotive sector. A trade deal makes it cheaper to cross a border, but it cannot force a consumer to trust the product on the other side. That trust has to be earned through consistent quality. But there is also an external challenge. India's global reputation is frequently targeted by disinformation and negative portrayals on social media that reinforce old stereotypes. Overcoming this requires a clear effort to present a more accurate image of a modernizing nation to the rest of the world. The New Zealand deal is a step toward that future, with a goal of reaching $5 billion in bilateral trade over the next 5 years. 5 years from now, the outcome of this deal will be measured by the trade balance, specifically whether India has become a net exporter to the New Zealand market. The value of India's trade map depends on whether it can produce high-quality legacy brands that consumers trust, supported by domestic pride and a stronger international reputation.